The dimly lit control room of the Epsilon Prime colony was tense with anxiety as the counselors huddled around the holographic display. For years, this outpost on the edge of known space had been their home, but now it teetered on the brink of collapse. Counselor Talia, a seasoned administrator with graying hair and weary eyes, addressed the group, her voice laced with a sense of urgency. The life support systems are failing faster than we can repair them. We've exhausted every option, and our supplies are dwindling. If we don't find a solution soon, the entire colony will be lost. Her words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the gravity of their situation. The other counselors exchanged worried glances, their brows furrowed as they contemplated the dire predicament. Counselor Bryn, a younger member of the council, spoke up. "We've reached out to the surrounding colonies, but they're all struggling with their own problems. No one has the resources or expertise to help us. We're on our own." Talia nodded solemnly. "Then we have no choice. We must call for help from the larger galactic community. Our colony's survival depends on it." With a heavy heart, she activated the colony's long-range communication system, broadcasting a distress signal across the vastness of space. The message was simple, yet laden with the weight of their desperation. "This is Epsilon Prime Colony. Our life support systems are failing. We urgently require assistance. Please, anyone who can help, we implore you to respond." Days turned into weeks as the colony waited anxiously for a response. The air grew stale, and the lights dimmed as the power reserves dwindled. The colonists, once filled with hope and determination, now walked the corridors with a sense of resignation, their faces etched with worry. Finally, a faint response crackled through the communication system, offering a glimmer of hope. "This is the Interstellar Alliance vessel Horizon. We have received your distress call and are en route to provide aid. ETA, 72 hours. The counselors let out a collective sigh of relief, but their respite was short-lived. "The Horizon is the best we can do," Talia said, her brow furrowed. "Their specialists may not be enough to solve our problems in time. We need someone with extraordinary capabilities, someone who can think outside the box and find a solution that our own scientists have missed." Bren nodded, his mind racing. "Then we have no choice. We must call for help from a Deathworlder." The very mention of the term sent a chill through the room. Deathworlders, as they were known, were humans from the notoriously dangerous planet of Earth, a world where even the most mundane tasks could prove fatal. Their resilience, ingenuity, and sheer adaptability were the stuff of legend, but their unpredictable nature made them both revered and feared throughout the galaxy. Talia's eyes widened. "A Deathworlder. Are you certain? The risks air." "It's our only chance," Bren interrupted, his voice firm. "If we don't act now, we'll all be dead. We have to take the chance." Reluctantly, Talia nodded. "Very well. Initiate the Deathworlder protocols and send out the call. May the stars guide us." As the colony's communication systems sprang to life once more, broadcasting a desperate plea for a Deathworlder's aid, the future of Epsilon Prime hung in the balance. The counselors could only hope that someone somewhere would hear their call and be willing to take on the challenge of saving their home. News of Epsilon Prime's desperate plea for help spread quickly through the galactic community, sparking a flurry of activity. Representatives from various alien species, each with their own unique expertise, converged on the small colony, eager to lend their assistance. First to arrive was a delegation from the Tarkonian Alliance, a technologically advanced civilization known for their prowess in engineering and systems integration. The Tarkonians, with their serene demeanor and sharp intellects, immediately set to work analyzing the colony's life support infrastructure, searching for any weaknesses or potential solutions. Next came a contingent from the Zyronian Cooperative, a collective of researchers and scientists renowned for their innovative problem-solving skills. The Zyronians, with their numerous tentacles and inquisitive nature, scanned the colony systems, muttering in their peculiar language as they made detailed observations. As the days passed, More and more alien delegations arrived, each one bringing a unique perspective and a wealth of knowledge. The Alarian diplomats, with their soothing voices and diplomatic finesse, tried to coordinate the various efforts, while the Crixian technicians tinkered relentlessly with the faulty systems, determined to find a fix. Yet, despite the combined efforts of these diverse alien experts, the crisis only seemed to deepen. The colony's life support systems continued to deteriorate, and the sense of panic began to spread among the colonists. Councillor Tullia, her brow furrowed with worry, convened a meeting of the delegation leaders. "We are running out of time," she said, her voice laced with frustration. "Your teams have worked tirelessly, but the problem remains unsolved. We need a breakthrough, and we need it soon." The alien delegates exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions reflecting the weight of the situation. It was Councillor Bren who finally spoke up, his voice resolute. "We have one last option, but it is a risky one. We need to call for the assistance of a Deathworlder." The mere mention of the term caused a ripple of unease among the delegates. Deathworlders, humans from the notoriously dangerous planet of Earth, were both revered and feared throughout the galaxy. Their resilience and problem-solving abilities were legendary, but their unpredictable nature made them a wild card that many were hesitant to gamble with. "A Deathworlder," one of the Tarkonian engineers said, his voice laced with concern. "Are you certain that is wise? Their methods are unconventional, to say the least." Bren held up a hand, silencing the objections. "I understand your reservations, but we have no other choice. The colony's survival is at stake. We must take this chance, or we will all perish." Talia stepped forward, her expression grave. "Then it is decided. We will call for a Deathworlder's assistance. May the stars guide us all." As the communication systems once again came to life, broadcasting a plea for a human from Earth to come and aid the desperate colony, the alien delegates could only watch with a mixture of trepidation and cautious hope. The fate of Epsilon Prime now rested in the hands of a Deathworlder, a being whose very nature was as unpredictable as the world they hailed from. The colony's desperate plea for a Deathworlder's aid rippled through the galactic community, and it was not long before a response came. A young engineer named Alex, hailing from the notoriously dangerous planet of Earth, answered the call, eager to put their skills to the test. As the transport shuttle carrying the Deathworlder approached the Epsilon Prime colony, the air was thick with a palpable sense of unease. The alien delegates, who had been working tirelessly to find a solution, eyed the approaching craft with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. Councillor Talia stood at the docking bay, her expression a mask of resolve, as the shuttle's hatch opened and the Deathworlder emerged. Alex was a youthful individual, their features weathered by the harsh realities of their homeworld, yet their eyes shone with a confident determination that belied their years. "Welcome to Epsilon Prime," Talia said, extending her hand in greeting. "We are grateful that you have answered our call. Our situation is dire, and we are running out of time." Alex's gaze swept across the small group of alien delegates, their expression unreadable. "I understand," they replied, their voice calm and measured. "Show me the problem, and I will do my best to find a solution." As the Deathworlder was ushered through the colony's corridors, the reaction from the alien delegates was mixed. Some, like the Tarkonian engineers, eyed Alex with a wary curiosity, while others, like the Alarian diplomats, maintained a polite but distant demeanor. Councillor Bren, however, greeted the Deathworlder with a sense of cautious optimism. "We have tried everything, but our efforts have been in vain. If anyone can help us, it is you." Alex nodded, their gaze focused on the task at hand. "Then let's get to work." In the colony's central command center, the Deathworlder was presented with the full scope of the problem. The life support systems were on the verge of collapse, and the various alien experts had exhausted every avenue of investigation. As Alex studied the holographic displays and listened to the detailed explanations, the alien delegates observed, their expressions a mixture of skepticism and intrigue. The Deathworlder's methods were unconventional, to say the least, as they quickly discarded some of the more traditional approaches suggested by the other specialists. Suddenly, Alex's eyes lit up, and they began issuing a series of rapid-fire commands, their fingers dancing across the control panels with a deftness that surprised the onlookers. The colony systems began to respond, and within a matter of hours, the life support indicators began to stabilize. The alien delegates exchanged astonished glances, their initial reservations slowly giving way to a growing sense of respect for the Deathworlder's capabilities. Counselor Talia approached Alex, her expression a rare smile. "How did you do it? Our own experts have been working for weeks, and they couldn't find a solution." Alex shrugged, their gaze still fixed on the displays. "Sometimes, the simplest solution is the one that's the most obvious. You just have to think outside the box." The Deathworlder's words hung in the air, a testament to the unique perspective they brought to the table. As the colony's systems continued to stabilize, the alien delegates could not help but feel a newfound appreciation for the human from Earth, their preconceptions about Deathworlders slowly beginning to shift. As the Deathworlder Alex's unconventional solution began to stabilize the colony's life support systems, the reaction from the gathered alien delegates was a mix of fascination and unease. The Tarkonian engineers, known for their meticulous and systematic approach, watched with a growing sense of bewilderment as Alex bypassed many of the standard procedures they had suggested. The Ilarian diplomats, accustomed to a more diplomatic and consensus-driven problem-solving style, murmured quietly among themselves, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and concern. Counselor Bren, however, observed the Deathworlder's actions with a keen interest, his earlier skepticism slowly giving way to a newfound respect. "Remarkable," he murmured, his gaze fixed on the rapidly changing readouts. "They're doing what none of us could." Talia, the colony's seasoned administrator, approached Alex, her expression a careful balance of gratitude and caution. "Your solution is working, but I must admit, I'm surprised by your methods. They seem unconventional, to say the least." Alex's gaze shifted to meet Talia's, their eyes conveying the hint of amusement. "That's the beauty of being the Deathworlder," they replied, a faint smile playing on their lips. "We don't always play by the rules." The comment sparked a wave of whispered discussions among the alien delegates, their expressions ranging from fascination to outright disapproval. The Zyronian scientists, known for their meticulous attention to detail, exchanged concerned glances, while the Crixian technicians watched on with a mix of curiosity and unease. Counselor Bren, sensing the growing tension, stepped forward and addressed the group. "I understand your reservations, but we must remember that it is this Deathworlder's ingenuity that has saved our colony. We should be grateful for their assistance, not judge them by our own standards." The Ilarian diplomat, a tall, graceful individual with a soothing voice, nodded in agreement. "Counselor Bren is right. We should approach this with an open mind and seek to learn from our Deathworlder colleague, rather than dismiss them outright." Yet, despite the diplomats' efforts, the cultural divide remained palpable. The alien delegates, accustomed to their own well-defined methods and protocols, struggled to reconcile Alex's unconventional problem-solving techniques with their own preconceptions. As the hours ticked by and the colony's life support systems continued to stabilize, the tension in the air only seemed to grow. The Deathworlder's presence had become a source of both fascination and unease, and the colony found itself caught in the middle of a clash of cultures. Talia, her brow furrowed with concern, pulled Alex aside. "Your solutions are working, but the other delegates are growing increasingly uneasy with your methods. I must ask you to tread carefully. We cannot afford any more disruptions or conflicts." Alex's expression remained unfazed, their gaze steady. "I understand your concerns, Counselor, but I can assure you, my actions are driven by the sole purpose of saving your colony. If the others have trouble accepting that, well, that's their problem, not mine." The Deathworlder's words, laced with a hint of defiance, only served to further inflame the tensions in the room. As the alien delegates continued to grapple with their doubts and preconceptions, the fate of Epsilon Prime hung in the balance, trapped between the competing perspectives of those who had come to its aid. Despite the growing tension and unease among the alien delegates, the Deathworlder Alex remained undaunted, their focus laser-sharp as they continued to work tirelessly to stabilize the colony's life support systems. While the other experts had become increasingly bogged down in their own protocols and preconceptions, Alex approached the problem with a refreshing lack of inhibition, readily discarding traditional methods in favor of more unconventional solutions. As the hours turned into days, the colony's systems began to show marked improvements, much to the surprise and grudging admiration of the gathered delegates. The Tarkonian engineers, their initial skepticism slowly giving way to curiosity, observed Alex's actions with a newfound sense of wonder. "Their approach is unorthodox, to say the least," one of them murmured, "but it appears to be working." The Zyronian scientists, their tentacles twitching with a mix of fascination and concern, huddled in small groups, debating the merits and potential risks of the Deathworlder's methods. "It's as if they see the problem in a completely different way," one of them remarked, their voice tinged with a hint of awe. Counselor Bren, his earlier optimism vindicated, watched the proceedings with a growing sense of satisfaction. "I knew the Deathworlder could do it," he said, his voice low but filled with pride. "Their willingness to think outside the box is precisely what we needed." As the life support indicators continued to stabilize, Talia found herself increasingly impressed by Alex's problem-solving abilities. While she still maintained a cautious distance, she could not help but acknowledge the Deathworlder's pivotal role in saving the colony. Finally, after a particularly intense round of adjustments and modifications, Alex stepped back, a triumphant gleam in their eyes. "There, that should do it. The life support systems are now running at optimal levels. Your colony is safe." The alien delegates, their previous reservations momentarily forgotten, erupted into a chorus of surprised exclamations and applause. The Illyrian diplomat, their graceful features alight with a genuine smile, approached Alex and grasped their hand. "You have done what we could not," they said, their voice warm and sincere. "We are in your debt, Deathworlder. Your actions have saved our colony, and for that, we are truly grateful." Alex's expression softened, a hint of pride and satisfaction reflected in their eyes. "I'm glad I could help," they replied, their voice laced with a touch of humility. Sometimes, all it takes is a fresh perspective to find the solution. As the colony's systems continued to hum with renewed vigor, the alien delegates found themselves reevaluating their preconceptions about the Deathworlder. While the cultural divide had not entirely dissipated, a newfound respect and appreciation had taken root, forged in the crucible of a shared struggle to save their home. Talia, her earlier reservations now tempered by a deep sense of gratitude, approached Alex, her expression thoughtful. "You have proven your worth, Deathworlder. We are fortunate to have had you here. I hope that, in time, the others will come to see you as we do." Alex nodded, their gaze sweeping across the assembled delegates. "I'm sure they will, Counselor. After all, we're all in this together, aren't we?" With the colony's life support systems fully restored, thanks to the Deathworlder Alex's innovative solutions, the tension and unease that had permeated the air gradually dissipated. The alien delegates, their initial skepticism now tempered by a newfound respect, gathered to express their gratitude to the human from Earth. Counselor Talia, her expression a rare smile, stepped forward and addressed the group. "On behalf of the entire Epsilon Prime colony, I want to extend our deepest thanks to you, Alex. Your willingness to think outside the box and your sheer tenacity have saved our home. We are forever in your debt." Alex, their stance relaxed and confident, offered a humble nod in response. "I'm just glad I could help. Sometimes, all it takes is a fresh perspective to find the solution to a problem." The Illyrian diplomat, their graceful features alight with a genuine warmth, stepped forward and grasped Alex's hand. "You have shown us that there is value in embracing diverse approaches and challenging our own preconceptions. We have much to learn from you, Deathworlder." The Tarkonian engineers, their initial reservations now replaced by a sense of wonder, gathered around Alex, bombarding them with a flurry of questions. "How did you come up with those modifications? What was the reasoning behind your unconventional methods?" Alex, their patience unwavering, patiently explained their thought process, engaging the delegates in a lively discussion that highlighted the value of cross-cultural collaboration. Even the more skeptical Zironian scientists found themselves drawn in, their tentacles twitching with a newfound curiosity as they listened to the Deathworlder's insights. One of them, a particularly inquisitive individual, even went so far as to suggest exploring the possibility of a joint research project with Alex. As the delegates continued to engage with the Deathworlder, Counselor Bryn observed the proceedings with a sense of quiet satisfaction. "I knew that Alex could do it," he murmured to Talia, his voice tinged with a hint of pride. "And now, I believe the others are starting to see it too." Talia nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Indeed, this experience has been a valuable lesson for all of us. Perhaps it's time we start to reconsider our preconceptions about Deathworlders and the unique perspectives they can offer." The seeds of a newfound collaboration had been sown, and the colony's leaders could not help but feel a sense of optimism about the future. With the Deathworlders' help, they had not only saved their home, but also opened the door to a deeper understanding and appreciation of the diverse cultures that made up the galactic community. As the delegates continued to engage with Alex, sharing ideas and forging new connections, the once tense atmosphere had given way to a palpable sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. The future, once shrouded in uncertainty, now held the promise of a brighter, more interconnected tomorrow. The success of the Deathworlder Alex's intervention in saving the Epsilon Prime colony reverberated throughout the galactic community, sparking a newfound appreciation for the unique capabilities and perspectives that humans from Earth could bring to the table. As the news of the colony's rescue spread, other outposts and settlements facing similar challenges began to take notice, recognizing the potential benefits of collaborating with Deathworlders. Counselor Talia found herself inundated with requests from across the galaxy, as leaders from various alien societies sought her advice and recommendations on how to establish connections with the formidable humans from Earth. "The tide is turning," Talia remarked to Counselor Bryn, her expression a mix of pride and contemplation. "Our experience has opened the eyes of the galactic community. They're no longer content to dismiss Deathworlders as unpredictable or dangerous. They see the value in what they can offer." Bryn nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed on the bustling activity in the colony's central command center. "It's not just the colony that's changed, is it?" he said, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. "The way the universe views Deathworlders has shifted as well." Indeed, the impact of Alex's intervention had far-reaching consequences. The Tarkonian engineers, once skeptical of the humans' methods, had become ardent advocates for further collaboration, eagerly sharing their insights and expertise with other colonies seeking Deathworlder assistance. The Zironian scientists, their curiosity piqued, had established a research exchange program, inviting Alex and other humans to participate in joint projects that leveraged their unique problem-solving abilities. Even the Alarian diplomats, renowned for their diplomatic finesse, found themselves adapting their approach, incorporating more flexibility and openness to diverse perspectives into their negotiations and conflict resolution strategies. As the colony's systems continued to thrive under the combined efforts of the alien delegates and the Deathworlder, Epsilon Prime became a hub of innovation and a symbol of the power of cross-cultural cooperation. Visitors from across the galaxy flocked to the outpost, eager to witness firsthand the remarkable transformation that had taken place. Talia, her once weary expression now alight with a sense of pride and purpose, addressed the throng of delegates and visitors gathered in the colony's main square. "What we have accomplished here is a testament to the strength that lies in our diversity. By embracing the unique perspectives and capabilities that each of us brings to the table, we have not only saved our home, but also paved the way for a brighter future. Alex, standing beside Talia, offered a warm smile, their gaze sweeping across the assembled crowd. "This is just the beginning," they said, their voice resonant with conviction. "The galaxy is vast, and there is so much more for us to discover and achieve together." The words struck a chord with the listeners, igniting a spark of hope and excitement that quickly spread like wildfire through the galactic community. Epsilon Prime, once on the brink of collapse, had become a beacon of unity and innovation, inspiring others to follow in its footsteps. As the newly forged bonds of cooperation and understanding continued to strengthen, the path for further human exploration and integration within the galactic community was paved, opening up new horizons for all. The future, once shrouded in uncertainty, now held the promise of a more interconnected and prosperous tomorrow, where the unique contributions of Deathworlders would be celebrated and embraced.